Hey guys, and welcome back. Well, as the summer months approach, I try to think of ways that I can prepare foods, including desserts, that are both nutritious, flavorful, and beautifully created. I came across this recipe that is a blueberry mousse tart that is made with fresh blueberries, some heavy whipping cream, and decorated with some beautiful seasonal fruits. The colors are absolutely beautiful and the taste is unbelievable. So let's get started. Okay, let's start with our ingredients. Starting with the pie crust, we are working with 12 ounces of vanilla wafers. You can also use graham crackers if you'd like. I personally prefer the flavor of the vanilla wafer with this particular recipe. And with that, we're melting 6 tablespoons of butter, unsalted butter, and together the butter and the wafer is going to create the crust. Remember, it's a non-bake crust, very, very simple. As far as the mousse goes, we're starting, of course, with blueberries, beautifully plump, well-washed and dried blueberries. 25 ounces, about 25 ounces. We also have 1 package of unflavored gelatin, which will be dissolved in about 1.5 ounces of water. Okay, then we have the juice of half a lemon. We also have 2 cups of heavy cream, which we're going to whip. And finally, 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. As opposed to granulated sugar, the powdered sugar dissolves a lot easier and it makes a much more smoother consistency to the mousse. Okay, let's get started on the mousse. Okay, the next step, we're going to strain our blueberries, and in order to do that, I'm using a food mill. It's a little large for what we're working with here, but I think it'll serve its purpose. Again, clean, drained, and dried blueberries, and you put it into the food mill and you just kind of pass them through. And what you want to do is sort of extract the seed. Well, these don't really have seeds. If you were working with raspberries, definitely it would sort of separate the seeds from the skin and the pulp. And you just want to pass them through. And what you're getting is a lot of the pulp, a lot of the sort of goodness of the blueberry. I'm going to make sure all the blueberries go underneath that blade. And you can see all that beautiful purple blueberry. So once you passed all the blueberries through the food mill, you have this beautiful puree of blueberry. Make sure though, when you're doing it, that you also scrape the bottom of the blade of the food mill to get all of that delicious flavor, and the color is amazing. And this is what you have. You have about, I don't know, I would say maybe like 3.5 cups of blueberry puree. Now, if you were using raspberries, I would suggest that you would strain it one more time to make sure the seeds were not included into this puree. But blueberry is a different type of fruit, and the seeds are very, very almost non-existent. So I wouldn't worry about it, and really that step could be skipped. Okay, get this out of the way. To that, we're going to add our half of squeezed lemon, and we're going to also add half of the powdered sugar. So it's about, I would say, like a tablespoon and a half of the powdered sugar. And we're going to just combine it all. And we're going to then transfer it into a saucepan. And we're going to put it on the stove, heating up the puree, but not boiling it. We just want to heat it up, and the purpose of that is to dissolve the sugar that we just added. Okay. Okay. So on medium heat, we're going to heat up our puree just to make sure that everything is dissolved. Using the powdered sugar, it dissolves a lot quicker than if you were to use granulated sugar. And again, you don't want it to boil, you just want it to warm it up. I think the color is beautiful. And when you add the heavy cream, the whipped cream to this, it even lightens it up a bit more. And it becomes this like magenta, purpley fuchsia color. And you could test it to see if it's sweet enough. We're going to add the rest of the sugar into the whipping cream. You could actually adjust it. You could add more sugar if you'd like. I personally don't like it overly sweet, but that's definitely a personal preference. Okay, I think that's dissolved. Turn off the heat, and we're going to allow this to cool. Okay, at this point, your gelatin might have congealed and not be able to pour it. So what you can do is just pop it into the microwave for a few seconds, and it kind of transfers back into its liquid stage. And we're going to add that into our puree mixture. We're going to stir that in. And we're going to let that sit for a few minutes. And we're going to work on our pie crust. Okay, taking our vanilla wafers, we're going to put them into a food processor. So once our vanilla wafers have been pulverized and crumbs created, we're going to add our 6 tablespoons of melted butter. Just combine those together. And we're going to be working with, you can use a 9-inch, I think mine is a 9.5 or 10-inch tart shell. I'll show you what that looks like. So the butter moistens the crumbs, creating a delicious crust. It smells really good. Okay. So now we're going to put this into our tart crust using one of these tart tins with the bottoms that release easily. And this may be way more than we need. And then once it's firmly in place, we're going to pop it into the refrigerator while we continue working on our mousse. Okay, in a stand mixer, we are going to whip our cream now. This again is 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Pour that into the mixing bowl. And you start off on a medium speed. But it'll take about 2 to 3 minutes for it to get really firm, thick peaks. Once you see that the cream is starting to thicken and create peaks, we're going to add our powdered sugar, the remaining powdered sugar. Quite easy and satisfying. Okay, so we have our whipped cream, nice stiff peaks, and now we're going to combine our whipped cream, sweetened whipped cream, with our blueberry puree. Okay, so at this point your blueberry puree should be cooled. And we're going to transfer it into a bowl. And this, as you can see, is going to be a lot more than what we really need for our tart, but you can save this, you can make other desserts with it, you can make smaller tarts with it. And we are going to fold some of our whipped cream into, and look at the color. It's like, this makes me so excited. The color, I love the color. It becomes this like bright magenta shade. Make sure that it's combined. And then once it's combined, we're going to put it in the refrigerator just so that the gelatin sort of starts activating and thickens before we put it into our pie crust. So we're going to work on some of the garnish. I'm using lemon rind and orange rind. What I like to do is cut off the ends first, and with a potato peeler or vegetable peeler, you want to just get the rind. You don't want to get the pith because it's very, very bitter. And the difference being, this is with a paring knife, which you can see all the white, which is called the pith, and then this is with the peeler, and it's just the rind. And what we're going to do is just peel the lemon rind off of the lemon, like so. And then we're going to julienne the rind into very, very thin strips. And with a very sharp knife, just going to cut very thin, as thin as possible, strips. And this is going to be used as the garnish. Thin as possible so that it's very, very delicate. This is a great chance to practice your knife skills. Okay, so our tart shell has been chilled, and so has our mousse. We're going to fill our tart shell, and then we're going to pop back into the refrigerator just to firm up a bit before we decorate it. And it looks absolutely delicious. The color is so pretty, and then with the fruit that I selected, it really pops. It's all about presentation. It might be easier to use an offset spatula just to kind of smooth it out. Want it to be very, very neat. I just perfect. Smooth as best as you can. I find by turning the tray, it makes it a lot easier. Back into the refrigerator for about 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, let's start off with placing some of the blackberries. And we're going to decorate just sort of the perimeter. I'm using, and try to use the same size berry, just so that it looks balanced. You can see the mousse set really, really well. And then maybe we'll add some, I think the next fruit I will add would be some green grapes, preferably without any blemishes or bruises, because it's all about the presentation. But look how beautiful that color is against the berry mousse. It really, really pops. You could actually use any type of fruit. Oh, I love, this is like one of my favorite color combinations. It's so pretty. It's a perfect tart to make for any summer occasion. This we're just going to sort of toss. Use only the thinnest pieces of lemon rind. Maybe I'll take one. For every orange, I remove one lemon. Because I do like the way the orange kind of adds another depth of color. Fine. One more. This is super thin. Beautiful. Fresh berry mousse tart. You have to give this a try. Okay, so now we're going to try cutting into it and see how it cuts, but most importantly, how it tastes. Okay, let's give it a try. Delicious. Not too sweet. The crust has the sweetness. The mousse is a little on the tart side. And then the fresh fruit. Let's try that. Very, very good. You have to give this a try. I swear it is the most delicate, light, refreshing tart you probably ever had. I hope you liked this video and you're going to give this recipe a try. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so that you'll know the next time a video is posted. Until next time.